Okay, fantastic. All right. So what I'm going to do is go through, as you'll see at the top of the screen, I've given away 3 memberships already to my YouTube subscribers membership. And I was just trying it out. I didn't realize it would blast them all out straight away, which it has done, and they've been taken up already. But if you'd like to get a free membership, I'm going to give away a few more at the end of this clip, so at the end of this live stream. So stay around for that. But let's go and have a look at the charts very quickly. I'll go through the charts, then I'll take some questions, tell you what positions we're in, and then give away those few remaining free memberships. So let's have a look. So first of all, let's have a look at the Forex majors, and we've got the euro and the pound. Really quite interesting, actually, particularly the pound. If you look at the pound chart, how we've been stuck in this range for such a long time. And just closing that laptop. So if we take this range from roughly 1.28 to 1.25, so about a 300 pip range, we've been in that range since November 2023. So half of November into approaching half of March. So incredibly congested and sideways. And a lot of people would say this is a bull flag, excuse me, and that we're moving up towards this region here at about 1.31, which is actually my favored move for the pound, move up into that 1.3 area where this previous resistance was, going back to July 2023. But that all depends on what the dollar index does. And of course, the euro will follow pretty much what the pound does, and the dollar yen will dollar yen will do its own thing, really. And just while we're on the dollar yen, before we go to the dollar index, we're short on the dollar yen. I'm looking for a move down into these green areas, then a move down to 140-ish, 141, maybe 142, and then eventually a move down into this zone here at the sort of 130 level, late 120s. Excuse me. So Coke, no sugar. So we've got a bit of a start today and yesterday. We've made 2 new lower lows and lower highs. Yesterday was a lower low, lower high, and today so far as well. Excuse me, I've got a real frog in my throat. Let me just get rid of this. This is the problem with live stream. I'd be able to edit this out otherwise if I was making a video. Excuse me, I'm so sorry about that. So we're moving down a little bit on that, and you've seen our targets quite ambitious on the dollar yen, and there may be some news coming out this month or maybe next month, perhaps even as late as May, but from the Bank of Japan indicating or actually raising their central bank lending rate to above 0.0%, perhaps 0.5% or something like that, or 0.2 or 0. Whatever they decide, probably in 25 percentile increments, so maybe 0.25 or 0.5. So we're looking for that. But now let's have a look at the dollar index. And a lot of people thought that the dollar was heading upwards into these resistance areas, including myself, although I wasn't sure. We saw the stair stepping up, and we've had 2 good moves up, a sideways move, another one up, and another bull flag or rectangle, and another move up. And then we tried to form another bull flag or rectangle and failed and fell below that support level. That was the first time in this entire sequence. So that means that there's a bit of weakness showing, and you can see also the dollar index is showing lower highs and lower lows as well itself. So that's moving downwards, and it's pulling down the dollar yen with it, and also the euro and the pound upwards. So I think that's probably the short-term direction for the dollar. Dollar down, that means euro and pound up, and dollar yen down. And then I'm also short on the Swiss yen and the euro yen. The Swiss yen is doing pretty well. And generally, as the dollar yen comes down, it will pull the other yen crosses. In other words, it's normally broad-based yen strength rather than against individual currencies. So we'll see that against the euro and the Swiss as the dollar yen begins to move down. All right, going across the stocks now. Let me just tell you our positions. We're short on the NASDAQ, short on NVDA from yesterday, short on the NASDAQ from pretty much at the top, short on NVDA from yesterday, more or less at the price that we're at now. Although I see in pre-market, you can't see it on this chart, on pre-market, I see we're actually pretty close to that top again on NVIDIA. And I wouldn't be surprised if we blast through. The moment we break and close above that high from yesterday, I will hedge NVIDIA and buy an equal amount of positions as I have short. I'm not taking any risks on this. I'm not willing to bet the house on picking a top on NVIDIA. But at some stage, this will come down, and I think quite sharply. I'm looking for an initial move down into the 600s, and then probably all the way down towards the 200 period moving average, which could meet us at about 550, maybe 600, maybe even lower than that. I don't know. I've actually got a lower target for NVIDIA eventually, and that would be around 400 or lower. Excuse me, again. So we're short on NASDAQ. Now, what's happened with NASDAQ and S&P? We're not in any other trades, except I might be looking, because we're short on NVIDIA, I might be looking to hedge that with a long Apple or a long Tesla trade. And the interesting thing is Apple has actually entered a bear market. Tesla just about on the verge of a bear market, down 20% or more being the definition. So Apple's down there already, Tesla heading that way. Or is it the other way around? I can't remember. I think it's Tesla that's got down there. Anyway, both close to 20% thereabouts, whereas NVIDIA is making new highs. So a lot of people say don't buy into weakness or sell into strength. That works most of the time. But when you think a stock is worth buying, or that it's cheap, or that it's sold off enough, or if it's overextended, or it's reaching crucial support, as we've seen in NASDAQ and Apple, as we've seen in Apple and Tesla. And let me just show you where the support levels are on Tesla, for example. Bottom of this channel, we haven't quite got there yet, and that would take us down to about 169, 170. We're currently at 180, so not far below us. We actually got to 178 yesterday. So there's the channel bottom, and that's where I'll be looking to buy Tesla, and maybe even inching into it at this current level. That's where I bought it last time, that green arrow. You can see we tried, we got some profit out of that, very little, and it's fallen back down again. So we're back at the level where we initially bought Tesla, but I think we could get to the channel bottom down to about 170, maybe 172, 168. And the same sort of thing with Apple. We're looking to buy Apple at the bottom of this green block, which is the support level. It's also the 61.8% retracement of the entire move up. So that's quite a long way down for Apple to retrace all the way back down there. Can we form a double bottom at around about 165 and move higher? I suspect we might have to pierce 165, maybe even pierce 160 to flush out some eager buyers at that level and stop those out, and then form a base and move up. So somewhere around 160 or below, 165 or below for Apple longs. Same sort of thing on Tesla. I showed you the levels on Tesla down there at the channel bottom. But if you're a long-term buy and hold type trader on some of these names, definitely Apple and Tesla are looking interesting. They're not going to go away anytime soon. These are huge, massive companies, and they will continue to grow. So how are we going to go on NASDAQ and S&P? Well, I don't know. All I can tell you is that they're incredibly overextended. We've had a huge run up. We've broken the very short-term channel line, tried to get back inside it, failed. Tried to get back inside it, succeeded, and then failed for the second time. That's where we are right now. We're still below the channel, but we are above the 20-period moving average. So we're stuck in between these two levels, really, the channel underneath the channel, which is what we might have to retest again or get through. We might just carry on going up. I'm not saying that this is going down. So all of our positions, our short positions, have been very, very cautious and very tentative. Funny word. So my targets for NASDAQ are actually essentially the bottom of this green channel, the longer term channel. That would take us down to around about 15,900, call it 16,000. But we may not get that low. First of all, we've got to get through about 16,900, 800, the support level here, and where the 100-period moving average will reach eventually. If we can get through the 20 and the 50, that's the green and the red lines today, or at least through the 20 and close beneath that today, that should trigger some algorithmic selling. Then if we can get through the 50, we should actually easily get down to the 100-period moving average, which would meet us at around about 16,920. So that's stocks in general. So looking to inch into perhaps some Apple and Tesla, looking to sell NVIDIA. Well, we're already short in NVIDIA, in danger of having to hedge that, but that's okay. And then NASDAQ, we're short right from the top, but if this keeps on going today, we may actually end up adding some short positions to our short NASDAQ trade, which is not a full-size position just yet. Now, gold, we were long on gold all the way up to 21.15. We bailed out there after a very strong, powerful, overextended run. and that was the 78.6% retracement level of the move from the top down to the bottom, back up again. So we're back up here again. I don't know if gold's going to push through. Looks like it is. Silver's been a bit of a laggard, really. Silver's way behind, as you can see, languishing right down there, still stuck in the range, whereas gold has now made a new all-time high. So what happens next with gold? I don't know. I think it's just bullish. We need to wait for a dip. We've had a very strong run. This run from the bottom to the top has not had a single black day in it. So it needs some black days, some retracement days, or pause days at least. We haven't had one for, let's count how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is day 15 of all white candles. So we do need a pullback. And you can see often with these big runs that have happened in the past, we get quite a substantial pullback. And I wouldn't mind a pullback back down to the 2075 level, which was the previous all-time high, the level that we broke out of when we had that last spike. So if we can get a dip down to there, I'll be looking to rebuy gold for a move to eventually make yet a new all-time high and then move higher, probably up to about 22, 23, 24, 2500 for gold. Silver, I'm not going to comment on it. I just generally am not bothered with silver at the moment. And then you are going, okay, now we've got the complicated one for those of you who are not following me in my private group. Let's just quickly talk about URA. We're long, looking to buy dips further down to the 200-period moving average and the support. That's at around 25.28. We're long from roughly the current price. We have nothing on UEC, looking to buy further dips. Brent crude, we're short. You can see our position on WTI. I'm not short on Brent, short on WTI. There's the arrow. That's where I got in, right there, as you can see. You can see the price of that. That's about 78.50, 78.60. And we're at about that level now, about 78.40 right now. So that hasn't gone anywhere. Still holding shorts on that. However, I'm not convinced that this is going to carry on going down or up right now at this point. I've got further resistance above us here in this pink zone and even more right up here. That's in the 80s. That's in the 90s. We're now in the 70s on WTI. Are we going to stay around in the 70s and drop down, or do we have to visit the 80s or the 90s? We'll find out soon enough because we've been coiling for way too long already, stuck in this very tight range since the beginning of February. So it's getting boring. And when markets get boring, that's when they often move and they begin to coil and spark off a short move, a sharp move after a Bollinger Band squeeze. Now, natural gas. Let me tell you how we traded this very quickly so that you understand precisely what we've done. That green arrow there is where I got into this trade. After having got in, we rolled over a couple of times. We've been taking profits on the longs. I got rolled out a little bit, a very tiny loss on the rollover, but we got straight back in simply because of the way my broker works. And we got out at 1.99. I think this spiked up to, I think it touched $2 and fell right back down again. We got out of the trade there, completely out of the trade. And there were some, just trying to recall, there were some hedges along the way, but we actually hedged in and out. So I hedged short. In other words, I took a short position when we touched the 200-period moving average there, but held my long position. We took profit on the short position, kept the long position, got out at the top at $2, got back into the long position where we are, well, just below where we are right now, a couple of hours ago, about 4 hours ago. So we're long on this again from about 1.92. We're at 1.945 now. I want to call it 1.95, and that's the position I'm in. My target on this currently is at 2.2, but let's see what happens when we get back to $2 if we do get there. We may reject from there again, in which case I'll just get out of the trade once more, or we may push through to 2.2. Let's see if we can get that. On the Henry Hub day chart over at the NYMEX, you can see it's looking quite constructive, really. Not too aggressive. We had that sharp dip down to about 1.5. Lots of reversal candles, which I pointed out at the time, particularly this inverse hammer candle. Remember, we all looked at that, and I said, this is a reversal candle. We all looked at it, and we started to look for long positions straight after that. There was a lot of chopping around with rollovers and weekend gaps, but we managed to navigate that, I think, quite perfectly. and we're long again now, looking for a move back up into these moving averages. So 2.2 is where the 50-period moving average is, the top of this gap. The first point of resistance is where we got to a couple of days ago at $2, the bottom of this consolidation range. The next target is at 2.15, the top of this range. And then with a bit of luck, we could actually get up to 2.2, 2.3, maybe even 2.4, 2.5 at this level here in this sort of support resistance zone that we've seen before. So far, so good. We only have a small position on this. I'm willing to add on dips, so I'm still pretty cautious on natural gas. I don't know how we're going to go from here, but I want to be in a position because we are still in the bargain basement in terms of pricing. And we should get back into the mid twos and eventually probably towards winter, summer rather, not winter, my winter, summer in the north towards about $3.50, perhaps somewhere around there. All right, so that's natural gas. And then Bitcoin, we'll come back to anything else that you've asked questions, and I'll come to that shortly. Bitcoin, I really don't know. I mean, how do you trade this when it moves from 59,000 to 69,000 in one day? So a $10,000 move in a single day, pretty much untradeable. We got most of the move up. We got in at 39,000, not most, probably half, actually not even half. We got in at 39,000. We got out at 52, just under 52,000, and then promptly missed the biggest move up, like many people did. But we got a big chunk of it, and for me, this is just really not, it's not feasible to trade. It's not safe, particularly when it's swinging $10,000 in a day. So that's it. I wanted to buy VIX yesterday. We didn't get a chance. It sort of moved up rather than down. I'll still be looking to buy VIX down towards 13 and below. And then Coinbase, perhaps someone said we could short this. And actually, if you want to short Coinbase, if you think that this might be an overcrowded market now with the new ETFs and every man and his dog selling the same thing, that Coinbase might be a little bit faced with a bit of competition, or quite a lot of competition, particularly with the big boys creeping in, like BlackRock and so on. So maybe this is a good short. We're back up now. I see in pre-market back up to where we were. Sorry, that's Bitcoin. Coinbase, yeah, there we go. You can see on pre-market it's back up to near the highs actually. So this is a big bearish engulfing candle. It's also a piercing dark cloud cover type candle. It's also a bearish engulfing candle. We've retraced back up to near the tops of the bodies of these candles. If you're looking to short Coinbase, which you may well be, considering that Bitcoin might come off and they are going to face more competition and already are. That might be something worth looking at. I'll consider that when the market opens shortly, in about an hour's time. All right, so now I'm going to go to questions because we're running out of time and I want to get to as many as possible. So let's see. There might not be any questions, which is fine as well. I'll put a couple of them up. People from good day, Stefanev from Madrid, and we've got CDEG72 from the UK, and I suppose Carlos, budget day in the UK today. Maybe you're not in the UK, Carlos, but budget today. By the way, today we've got Jerome Powell speaking a little bit later on, and we've also got the JOLTS job reports coming out actually in about 10 minutes time. So I want to be offline by the time that happens. I'm going to try and give away these things shortly. But JOLTS job report coming out, and then around about that time as well, Jerome Powell begins to talk, and he might want to cool these markets down. Be very aware of that. Although he might just not say anything much, and the markets might just carry on. So, sub basics, listening, driving on the motorway in the UK. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hopefully not on the M25, going around and around London in traffic jams. All right, on WTI, the cut production should go higher. Yes, they did cut production, but they've been doing that for a year, and oil has only gone lower, so I'm not too worried about that. Thank you, Usman. Appreciate that very much, mate. And is there a lower low for natural gas on the cards? Possibly. Anything's possible right now. I don't think we're going to go below 1.5 though. I think that might be the bottom for now. So for now, we'll work on that 1.5. Cocoa, Lucas, the same thing, very similar to Bitcoin. Someone asked me yesterday, why does Cocoa and Bitcoin look the same on the charts? And I actually didn't know. I think it's obviously it's coincidence because they've got nothing in common, unless the Ghanaians and Cote d'Ivoire's are trading in Bitcoin or cocoa and swapping it for Bitcoin. I don't know, but they've both gone up simultaneously. The charts look very similar and equally as dangerous. I got into some trouble with cocoa, almost. I managed to get out of it by hedging when we had that ferocious move, and I got out of it actually with a small profit overall. Luckily, could have made a lot more money, but I wasn't willing to hold with that sort of risk. So, short-term target for dollar yen, Usman, is let's just have a look quickly. Go back to the charts. So yeah, so dollar yen's moving down nicely now, actually, as we speak. I think we've broken the back of this for now. And I think obviously these two order block levels, about 148 and then 145, that's where we're going to start. And if we break below there and close dramatically, note the 200 period moving average is there as well at 145. If we close beneath there and start moving down, we could see, remember this pair and all the yen pairs can move 2, 3, 4, 500 pips in a day. We haven't seen that for a while, but if you look back to your left over here, you'll see plenty of examples. There's one, this candle moved from 147 to 141. Let's chop off 100 pips from that. I'm exaggerating, but about 600 pips. Call it 500 pips, whatever. It's still a lot. So we haven't seen those sorts of moves on the way down. And notice when it happens on the way down, it's often on the way down. And that's the sort of thing we're looking for, that sort of waterfall formation. So we could blast through these super fast when it happens, but we could faff around for a long time too. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. All right. And greetings from Russia. Very nice to hear you from a Russian person. And thanks very much for popping in. How long will it take to get for natural gas to reach? When you Russians stop selling it, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but if you stop selling Russian natural gas, perhaps the price will come up. I'm only joking. It's a sensitive topic. I shouldn't joke about it. But I think, look, if it's going to go there, it should go there pretty quickly. I'm going to call you Dmitry because I don't know, maybe it's Antonov, Antony. I'm trying to figure that out, that spelling. Can't do it. So I think if it's going to go to 2.2, it's going to go pretty fast. It's got to get through 2. I think we'll rush up to 2.15 or 2.2 super quickly, but we may not do that. We may just not get above $2. We might not even get above where we are at the moment. Let's wait and see how we go. But if it does go, I think 2.15 super fast, maybe 2.2. The cat's doing fine. Thanks, Edgar. Actually, Jinx is here. I'll show you. Right, here's Jinx. Jinx is now about 15 years old and still pretty sprightly and a happy cat. Just throwing Jinx onto the floor and unceremoniously. Pretty spry. Thanks, Alan. Appreciate you being here. And we've talked about the short-term target for dollar yen. Okay, I think that's all, folks. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and give away some more memberships. So bear with me and let's just see. I've got to do it on the other computer because I'm stuck in a different set of, different bit of software here. So it says, gift memberships to viewers. This membership will publicly be announced. Lucky recipients will be selected by YouTube. Okay, I'm sorry, so it's not a matter of speed. YouTube will choose who gets it. And you get 1 month of access to all the perks from ArcisFX supporters. You have to be subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, now's a good time to subscribe, because when I press this button, if you're subscribed, YouTube will allocate. Oh, and it's saying I've only got 5 left to give. So I've given 5 away already earlier, and it says I've only got 5 memberships available left to give this month. I don't know why that is, because it's my channel. But let's do it. I'm going to press the button right now. So let's do that. Let's see what happens. This will be interesting. All right. Okay. So we've got Lucas. Herman, Manish, and Zoja, and Pixie Parker the dog. Wow. Okay, so we've got 1 dog and 4 humans who have just joined. Okay, fantastic. So I'll do next week. I'll try and do another live stream next week. I'll give away another 10 memberships and so on until we've got to 20 or 30. I can only it'll have to be next month. So I'll do 10. I can only do 10 a month. I don't know why. Anyway, so nat gas is pushing higher. Yes, it is pushing higher. Let's have a quick look. And there we go. So this is my 4-hour chart. And what I like about this, by the way, just quick last minute analysis of natural gas. Notice we've got this trend line. We've got the support level that was broken. We talked about this a lot. Once we had closed above that support level, this green block, it was all go for a move up, which we got. When we got that spike high at the $2 level, the big round number, and the previous support and resistance level, that was a warning sign to get out. But we didn't reject. We had 1 rejection candle on the 4-hour, and all the other candles held above the 20-period moving average, the green line, and held above the trend line. And we've now broken and closed. Well, we haven't closed. We will do shortly. Let's see what time. 1700. Okay, another hour and a half for this candle to close above the 200-period moving average. If we bust up through there, this circle where I've got the red arrow, remember, that's where we got out, but I'm back in again. Once we got back down here, I got back in again. If we get through there and burst up, we should get to 2.15. And that's the swing high here, over here. And the underside, okay, I've got to scoot back a bit. We could even get a little higher, actually, 2.22. So somewhere between 2.15 and 2.25, I think, is where we might go. But we need to burst through here with some momentum. So that's the way it looks at the moment. And yes, starting to move higher. And I like this whole pattern. It's zigzagging up the trend line. It's zigzagging up the 20-period moving average. It's a 4-hour chart, so it's relevant. It's not a 5-minute chart. It's a proper chart. And we're seeing, and yeah, so we're seeing it on the day chart. A little bit insipid. This is the day chart on the right here on the from the NYMEX. Looking a bit insipid, but looking like it's ready to coil up for a move higher. And notice we've also got this sort of a small ascending triangle on this day chart. And you can see roughly an equal top, but a rising bottom, and that's moving up along the trend line. So all looks quite good. But, you know, this can change in a second. Natural gas changes and flips and flops all the time, and it could change any moment. So we'll see what happens. So there we go. Okay, folks, have a great day. It's half an hour. I don't think these things should last more than about half an hour. If you've got any final questions, please post them up right now. I'll be happy to answer them. I'll spend 5 more minutes. It's 28 minutes past right now. If we can get to 33 and then stop, that would be great. And it's a pleasure. No problem at all. Is there anything else I need to talk to you about? Yeah, so if you want to join my private group, there's a link below. If you want to join this channel and you didn't get a free gift, you can join. There's a join button below the video. It's pretty cheap. There's a $1 a month option actually as well. Yeah, just if you're not following me on X, go across and check that out. I post quite a lot of stuff there every day. And generally, have a great trading day. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next live stream, probably next week. And I think that's all for now, unless there are any other questions. It's a pleasure, Stefan F. No more questions? Thanks, folks. Have a great trading day. If you've got any questions, you can please feel free to put them up in X, on Twitter, in X. If you've got something that you'd like to ask me directly, and you're not a member of this channel, and you're not in my private group, you can actually email me as well. My email address is in the description, so it's there for anyone who wants to email me. I try to answer them all. But you can message me on X or on Twitter or respond to anything I'm posting up there. So pretty much it's all there, up to you to make use of it if you want to. Otherwise, you don't have to. It's probably all pretty boring anyway. Okay, have a great day, and I'll speak to you soon.